I can remember, my mom and dad would read to me before bed. Whether it was picture books or chapter books, I always found myself engaging in the story. When the troubled main character faced a conflict in their life or overcame a setback, I too would understand their predicament and place myself in their shoes, learning from the mistakes that they would inevitably make or the lessons they would learn. Now, I don't exactly remember when my parents stopped reading to me before bed, but I assume it had something to do with my maturity and personal independence kicking in, which led me to choose my own books and read by myself. My personal growth and maturity can partly be credited to the books that provided guidance as they were read to me, and the lessons I learned as I advanced through tougher, more engaging books. The Giving Tree, written and illustrated by Shel Silverstein, is a classic children's picture book that explores the concept of growth through the relationship between a tree and a boy. Through the boy's childhood, he swings from the tree's branches, eats the apples she provides, and as time progresses, he begins to ask for more from her. He builds a house with her branches, sells her apples for money, and cuts down her trunk to build a boat and sails away. After many years, he returns. While she has nothing left to give him, he wants nothing more than a place to sit and rest.
You see the moon is bright in that treetop night. I see the shadow.
The Giving Tree taught me about the important aspects of relationships, as well as the concept of give and take. When the boy has grown into an elderly man, he realizes that he doesn't want the physical things that he used to value. He simply wishes to rest and reflect, while sitting upon the stump that once gave him everything he thought he needed. I recall reading Stephen Chbosky's novel The Perks of Being a Wallflower in the 8th grade and found myself relating to Charlie, the 15-year-old main character of the story. The novel is written from Charlie's perspective through a series of letters to an anonymous recipient. He writes about his high school experience as an introverted freshman, trying to make friends and live the life of a normal, social teen while struggling with internal pain from his past. The Perks of Being a Wallflower gave me a sense of the realities that teenagers face as they progress through high school.
Some say love is a burning thing, that it makes the fire ring. Oh, but I know love as a fading thing.
At this moment, Charlie faces the confusion that most teenagers experience, the feeling of being wrong and wanting to change but not knowing where to start. The heartbreak, sadness, and confusion that Charlie faces throughout the story are all aspects of growing up that teenagers face. As a reader, I was able to understand that such hardships are what make people stronger and more mature. When I read The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls, her life story struck me and made me realize that guidance can be obtained from experiences, not just people. Certain experiences can teach you about the world, yourself, and allow you to mature. The Glass Castle features the life of Jeanette Walls and what it was like growing up in a family with alcoholic parents who didn't believe in the structure of society, leading the family to deserted towns across the country. Jeanette and her siblings never attended school for more than a few weeks at a time, and the children were often left alone to fend for themselves. When Jeanette turned 18, she realized that she was ready to join society, and by running away to New York, she found her calling as a writer and made a life for herself. The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd is a novel that features Lily Owens, a 14-year-old girl growing up on a peach farm in rural South Carolina during the 60s. Sadly, Lily's life is far from normal. Not only did she accidentally shoot and kill her mother as a young child, she is forced to face the consequences as a teenager by living with her abusive father. Lily grew up alone, constantly craving a better understanding of her mother and lacking the guidance necessary to lead a normal, happy life. Just a few clues and pieces of her mother's past, Lily was able to escape her father in the closed-off world of the peach farm by running away in search of a better life. Once she understood her mother's past, Lily found lasting comfort and became a happier, more mature young woman. Similar to The Glass Castle, reading this book taught me that guidance is not always handed to you. It must occasionally be sought out in order for one to grow and mature. These coming-of-age books that I explored throughout my childhood and into my adulthood taught me about the importance of guidance and the effects it has on one's individual growth. As a reader, the books provided a window into the lives and experiences of people to whom I could relate and other people whose lives were far different from mine. By exploring these stories, I was able to learn lessons that I couldn't experience on my own, and was given another source of guidance that stimulated my growth and broadened my perspective.